Hello farmers, welcome back to the channel. On this video, I'm going to share with you 7 ways in which you can save on drugs and feeds on poultry farming business. Over the recent few months, the prices of feeds and drugs has been going up, and this has not been reflected on the prices of the products that we as farmers produce. For example, in layers farming, the prices of feeds have increased for about 25%, and the same price has not been reflected on eggs, because if we do increase the prices of eggs, consumers will not accept that very easily, and that usually leaves farmers on the disadvantage. So here are the 7 ways in which we can increase our profit and able to save our businesses. The first way is by selling the less productive animals. These are animals which you have fed and you have treated them, but they are not giving you the results that you expect. So it is well advised to cull the animals or to sell them, so that you can reduce the cost of drugs and animals which will be subjected to them. Also, it is advised you can sell about 30% of the animals which are not productive, so that you can take care of the animals which are high productive animals. The second way in which you can save on drugs and feeds is by making your own feeds. These feeds should be made by the cheap ingredients, because this will be the foundation of making the feeds which will help you save. And you can formulate these feeds by getting feed formulation formula from around your area or from this YouTube channel. And when making your own feeds, you may incur some cost. This cost include the getting a crusher which will be used to crush the grains, getting a mixer so that you can mix the ingredients, and building a housing where you house these machines. And in the initial cost may be high, but in the long run this may be profitable to you. And it is always advised to test the formulation formula that will be used to make the feeds. And you can either test it by taking the feed ingredient, the feed formulation formula, to the laboratory and test the nutritional value as by the stage of the animal. Also, you can test it by giving to your animals in a small number, so that you can test how the birds respond to your ingredients. The third way in which you can save on drugs and feed is by making ingredients or by buying feeds ingredients or feeds in bulk. When you buy in bulk, there is usually a chance that you'll be given a discount, and this will help you save. Also, when you buy in bulk, there is usually free transportation, will help you save on the transportation fee. And also, it is advised to store the ingredients or the feeds that you buy in bulk properly, so that you can avoid instances of aflatoxin which may lead to losses in your poultry farming business. The fourth way in which you can save on feeds and drugs is by making natural remedies, so that you can treat various chicken diseases. For example, aloe vera has been shown to treat a lot of diseases. So if you use this aloe vera, you prevent instances of buying drugs or by calling a vet, so that you can treat the sick birds. So it is advised to use these natural remedies, which will help you boost the immunity of your birds. The fifth way in which you can maintain high profits in your poultry farming business is by reducing your workforce. You see, when you don't have enough money in your poultry farming in terms of buying feed and cost, you're able to save this money by cutting down on the workers. And because when you don't pay your workers, they may resign unexpectedly and without any notification, and that will really lead to losses, because sometimes you as the poultry farmer may not be around, and when the farmers or when the workers resign unexpectedly, that may lead to losses, because nobody will be available to take care of your birds. The sixth way in which you can save on the feeds and drug cost is by improving the management practices in your poultry farming. This can be done through 2 ways. First is by having the proper stocking rate. When having a proper stocking rate, there will be no chances of overcrowding, because overcrowding usually leads to cannibalism, which usually affect the productivity of birds because of the stress. Also, when you have a lot of animals, you know that you have to feed them, you have to give them, the best vaccines, and that is what is costly, because that space that you have is not meant to have that kind of animals. Also, the other thing is that when you have a lot of animals in a small place, the rata that is applied on the floor may become more damp and more wet, and that may make you able to change it, and that will increase the cost of production. Also, when you have a lot of animals in a small area, there will be higher or faster spread of diseases, which will be a disadvantage to you as a poultry farmer. Also, the second way in which you can improve the management is by having proper biosecurity measures. These biosecurity measures can be put in place through putting a footbath at the entrance of the poultry house. The seventh way in which you can save on feeds and drugs is by value addition. For example, if you're a broiler farmer, you're supposed to slaughter the animals at the farm, package them, and then sell them at a higher profit. Also, when you slaughter the animals and then package them in cartons, for example, you can pack the drumstick together, can pack the breast together. That will help you sell these products at a higher cost compared to selling the animals as a whole, and that will help you have enough money so that you can take care of your animals, and that will help you maintain your profits at the farm.